So it's official. I'm reading Insider.com. NFL players can smoke marijuana for the first time during the offseason, and the window opened on 4/20.
Because they passed it. I was reading about it. It's because they passed it last year on around 4/20, and they gave it a year to get into effect for no reason at all. You know, just I guess so they could catch some people over the next course of the year. I don't understand why it had to take a year to come into effect, but it's about time that the most painful sport on earth gets to use medicine that that can make them feel better.
Mr. Bradley.
Yeah, I mean, so it says the NFL won't drug test for THC from April 20th to August 9th of every year, which is a step forward, but they shouldn't test at all. 4/20 to August 9th.
Oh, so just off season.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess that was agreed upon in the CBA, which is it's good, at least for the people who are fighting in the CBA contractual negotiations, to at least get some progress, because I'm sure their pitch was no drug testing. And the NFL is like, how about no drug testing during the offseason? They're like, all right.
But I wonder what their reasoning is for drug testing during the season.
I don't know. That's it. I mean, they would have to be classifying it exactly as like a performance enhancing drug. And then it shouldn't be able to be done out of the season. It's true.
If that's the case, it shouldn't be allowed outside of this. Not that I'm saying I would want them to change the law, but you know what I'm saying. By the reasoning that they're using, they must really think that if they allow those guys to smoke, the quality of play is going to go down. That has to be what it is.
Yeah.
They think that it's going to make, like, these old guys that don't smoke or whatever, they just do cocaine and Percocet. So, like, they think that, like, this is going to make their investments lazy.
Yeah, but it also comes with a mandatory test once camp opens.
So everybody has to get tested.
Yeah. So it's one of those things, though.
Dude, what happens if everybody, like, what happened if 40 out of 52 failed?
Like every player?
I would be so curious
what would need to
NFL
happen is Pat Mahomes would need to start testing hot every year.
Every time.
Tom Brady would need it. Well, he's already past his prime. The GOATs would need to start suspending, because they ruined Josh Gordon's career because of marijuana. But he was Josh Gordon.
Yeah.
He's, I guess you could say, expendable to the league.
Definitely. They need a name brand person to break the rules.
Yeah, if somebody, exactly, that a Pat Mahomes,
and a white, Tom Brady, like a clean cut one. Because even like Lamar Jackson, it would be too much. The league just doesn't like him as much as they like some of these other premier quarterbacks. And it's not even based off stats or anything. It's just like, I guess, marketability to the league.
Yeah. I mean, he does good in terms of marketing, but it could be somebody like him as well. Because then you get both. You could get both aspects. Like, oh, you're targeting him, and it's because he's a young, successful black quarterback. They don't want him in the league, and it's only marijuana, and blah, blah, blah.
I think it would work better for Pat.
I think it would work best for Tom Brady. Imagine Tom Brady testing hot. They suspend him 4 games or some shit, and then he comes back, tests hot again. Yeah. Like, eventually, they're gonna be like, "Wait, we kind of got to let him play. He's like the GOAT."
I need him, Rodgers. If Rodgers, and Pat all tested hot, the rule would change immediately.
It would have to.
Yeah,
and maybe
we couldn't play without those quarterbacks.
And even if Tom Brady doesn't want to smoke, if you're listening to this, Mr. Tom Brady,
please eat edibles.
Yes, or if you don't want to get high, if you don't like THC at all, I think you should band together with all other superstars in the league, collect my urine that will test hot. I will mail it directly to your house, and
I have a little warm plate.
Yeah, exactly, and just really band together to make all the superstars purposely test hot to put pressure on the NFL.
Yeah, because I guarantee you in the NBA, stars were testing hot.
Oh, yeah, all the time. I mean, I've been in games like that smell like weed.
I've had some stories to where they're like, the guys you don't expect smoking are all smoking still.
Yeah, in the
all
NBA.
Like the nice, clean-cut looking guys that people think aren't just normal hooping niggas. Everybody's smoking weed, bro.
And I think in the NBA, they drug test, but they tell you like a month ahead of time, right? Is that how it works?
I don't think they test for weed anymore.
Oh, okay. Even better. Perfect.
I think football is the last sport, because baseball allows it too. I think football is the last sport that really will suspend you for weed.
Yeah, and the NHL just doesn't give any fucks. I think you could do any drug except steroids,
they said, please. Yeah. They said, please do drugs so you can get back on that ice.
Yeah, exactly. Like, put some cocaine on that missing tooth, sir.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, what I mean is
you need something insane, at least some very, very high-powered pre-workout to dive bare face in front of a puck going 100 plus miles an hour, bro.
Yeah, it's insanity.
It's insanity.
And I think in terms of the NFL, if let's say you get fucking minor concussion, they're going to run you to the back. They're going to give you the concussion protocol and all this shit. And then more than likely, if you're a superstar player, they're just going to put you back out on the field. That's
not anymore.
Yeah, I mean, they did it to Pat Mahomes in these playoffs. Like
Next week, though. He still sat that game.
That's true.
Like, that game, Will Smith put too much pressure on him with that concussion movie, bro.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, you're right. But
they will shove you back out there next week.
Yeah, exactly. Or they, let's say, not even concussions. Concussions are you roll your ankle, severe sprain. They're going to tape you back up, inject you with some shit, and send you back out, which is probably way more harmful than anything. Yeah, exactly.
Let me just take a dab at halftime, and I'll be back on the field throwing touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly.
Catching them bitches, too.
And I would say that most of the players, I don't know how stringent the testing is currently or was prior to this, but I would say most NFL players are getting high in the offseason anyway. Most, I wouldn't say most, because maybe.
They're all getting high, bro. Because if it's not off the weed, it's off the pills. Because they have the worst pill addictions of all professions.
Yeah, if we're talking all highs, they're all doing some shit.
They're getting high.
Yeah.
It's just, what's safe for them to get high on? Is it destroying their liver? You know what I'm saying? Because all those other pills
and creating a severe addiction that even the withdrawal from the addiction could kill you.
Yeah.
Like if you are addicted to weed your whole NFL career and then you quit when you stop playing, you're not going to then die from the withdrawals. You'll just probably you'll get some shitty sleep for a few days and then that's it. But when these people are on painkillers for 20-year NFL careers and then they stop when they're like, okay, I'm not playing anymore. Let me try to get off of them. That could kill them.
I learned alcohol and benzos, I think, are the only two substances that the withdrawal can kill you.
Yeah.
Maybe on them hoes. But yeah, those are the only two things that, as you're recovering, you have to wean yourself off. If you go cold turkey, it'll kill you.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Is there's probably players that played drunk. Like linemen.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like the or not, maybe not drunk, but take a few shots to loosen up.
Oh, yeah, that's damn near smart. Because them linemen, all their fingers broken.
Yeah.
You need something, literally, at least 4 out of 10 of their fingers.
And people of that size would need to drink a damn liter to get drunk. So I'm sure they're drinking enough to feel it. But it just, if that's allowed or not even checked, how would cannabis even or marijuana even be a thing to worry about? Especially to ruin people's careers. And it's happened in multiple sports. I've seen cannabis has ruined careers for people in that sport. Yeah. NFL for sure. I mean, Josh Gordon had a promising career too.
But he drives drunk too, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he also did all this shit. But I think he got put into that loop.
A lot of it is based off weed. Tyrann Mathieu got kicked out of LSU for weed.
Yeah. And
almost lost his NFL career if he hadn't been so cold.
Yeah, exactly. And Josh Gordon was very good too, but it seems that what they do is they test you test hot, and then they're just following you around waiting to test you again and fuck you over.
I think they said, bro, Tyrann Mathieu felt 7 at LSU.
Yeah.
Till Les Miles was like, we can't do 8, man.
I mean, it's which is crazy that they would waste taxpayer money to test athletes for cannabis in college football where they're not even getting paid. That's pretty crazy to me. Because testing players constantly is expensive as fuck. That's just part of that money laundering scheme. Yeah.
NCAA rich as fuck.
Hell yeah.
They got that bread on them.
They're not paying the people.
And they have a monopoly on the system. NAIA isn't anything. NCAA is it.
Yeah, that's crazy. They're just wasting money.
Yeah.
Testing players for weed.
This is completely off subject. Did you see how poorly that soccer, they're talking about, I read a full article about how that soccer league failed so miserably.
Yeah. Are you talking about the billionaire league shit?
Yeah. They said it lasted 48 hours, bro.
Yeah.
They said the logistics to get something like that done are so much more than those 12 clubs planned for that it was impossible.
Yeah, I think the day after, I remember I talked about it briefly when we were in Oklahoma. That's when I first heard about it. The very next day, Chelsea had pulled out and UEFA was threatening them and all this shit.
What were they threatening with, though?
I think everything in UEFA in FIFA is just a mob rule. You're going to fuck us over? We're going to make sure you can't get a TV contract with anybody.
They weren't on TV.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What?
And
y'all then even hit up YouTube?
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking FIFA has some mob rule out there. Look, we're giving you guys hundreds of millions of dollars.
They should come play in MLS.
Hopefully. But I think FIFA controls MLS too. That's the crazy thing.
Not as much, though.
Yeah. No, I think it's just like the overarching.
For sure. In the U.S., you get on TV. I feel like in Europe, they have a much tighter control on what you can do. Because, like, European broadcasting laws are just different than here. Like, here, we watch shit everywhere. Yeah.
And I thought it was weird in general how it was just essentially because FIFA, I see it as an organized mob that controls soccer. They were just going to go from one to the other. It's not like they were going to give more players the control or more money or anything. It was just really going to go like from one mob rule to another mob rule. Because it was just like a group of billionaires who got together and were like
12 teams.
Yeah. Some of the 12 most popular.
12 most. No, they were all the 12 most, like 12 of the most popular. And it's just like.
And I read that I think 8 of them were American owned. So like even from that perspective, like the Europeans were like, the Americans are trying to ruin our league and shit. Because I think this, from what I was reading, it all started when they started trying to have English Premiership and La Liga games, like actual games here in the U.S. And people in Spain and people in England were like, why the fuck would we do that? This is our league, you know?
But what's wrong with those people?
Oh, I don't know. But it's, I don't know. But so like that's where it started.
I've never seen somebody in the U.S. be like, why are they playing football in the U.K.? That's our sport.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Like, nobody cares.
And we do that. I think the NFL
we
goes,
do it. They go to
like,
Mexico. They go to the UK. Nobody cares.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that's where it all started, where like they were like, oh, they're not going to let us do it. Fuck it. Let's create our own league. And it just spiraled out of control. And with billionaires with too much power, they thought it'd be a good idea. Probably got in over their heads, and then we're like, fuck it.
Over their heads.
Yeah.
But they don't even know what's going to happen now.
And for them to say,
they don't want to participate in the Champions League.
Yeah, or they weren't going to have the players be allowed in the World Cup. It's like, do you think Cristiano Ronaldo is going to give up his last World Cup for
a super league,
for a league that might not even work out? I always thought that was a weird rule. Like, because I guess FIFA World Cup as well, but that's when I knew it wouldn't work. I was like, these superstars are not going to give up the World Cup money. But also,
it's only 12 teams. It's not enough.
Yeah.
A 12-team tournament isn't big enough.
It's pretty close. So you probably need about 15 to mix. I think each league is like 12 to 15 teams.
But I'm saying, like, the way the Champions League works, though, teams can get into it.
Yeah,
the Super League, now these 12 teams, the ones you have to watch, regardless of whether they're the best 12 or not.
Yeah. And that was going to be.
Because they're not necessarily the best team. You know what I mean? In some years.
Yeah. And they wouldn't have been for long. People are not going to put up with that shit. They're gonna be like, wait, so I joined Chelsea, I get paid this amount of money, but I can't play in the World Cup. I can't do. US, I can't. They couldn't be in the video games.
They'll come to the US.
Couldn't do anything.
I'm telling you, that will be the push. That could be the push to get some of these soccer players into the US because they just won't. They don't have. FIFA doesn't have control over MLS TV rights like that.
They might.
On ESPN in the US.
Yeah, like FIFA is probably the negotiating body. It depends if they own the league. Because it's like you're under their umbrella. It's the same thing. It's like FIFA, and then there's a UEFA Champions League, but it's still FIFA, and then it's English Premier League, but it's still FIFA.
Like they're like the governing body.
Yeah, like they're the overview of everything. I
just feel like that FIFA there.
I don't know if
more
MLS is a part of that, though.
With their government than like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Than like our president and fucking shit and all that stuff is intertwined with our sports leagues.
So it's some complicated shit. So it says MLS is a part of USSF, which is a part of FIFA. So the MLS isn't a FIFA member, but is sanctioned by CONCACAF and a different FIFA member.
Okay. So it's ownership versus rules.
Yeah.
They follow all FIFA rules, but I don't think they're owned by it.
Yeah. So they probably have more freedom. Yeah, that could be the catalyst that brings people to the US. Because one thing I will say, for the billionaires who are looking at the American market and being like, what the fuck? They're right. Because I used to go to, like, they would always have one game a year, like the preseason. It was called the Guinness Cup. In America, they have like one game in Miami, one game in Brooklyn or whatever the fuck. And they would have their B squads out there, and they would sell out 100,000 person arena.
Dude, I went to you know how MLS All-Star Games always did that too? Yeah. I went to the one here in Houston when Ronaldinho came. Didn't play.
Yeah, they played 10 minutes.
They played AC Milan, and the Stars didn't play.
Yep.
The first team of the MLS team didn't even play. Yeah. I was like, what is this shit?
Yeah, they did.
Go to the NBA All-Star Game and you watch backups.
I went, my family went. I wasn't in town, but they went to the Real Madrid versus Barcelona game in Miami.
Yeah.
And 100,000 person stadium, sold out almost immediately too.
Yeah.
Like just boom, sell out. And Messi and Cristiano played for like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And then gave their old wave and they leave the field. And it's
I think
just
the one here was like 5-0.
Yeah.
The one that happened in Houston a couple of years ago was like 5-0 between Bayern and somebody and I'm like,
yeah. So I see why they would want to do that.
Them in the NFL.
Yeah,
when the NFL goes over there, we need to have fucking Dan Orlovsky playing quarterback and shit.
For real. Or go over there like they do to us when they play the MLS All-Stars and destroy us. We go over there and play their whatever NFL league that they're putting together, the champions, and just fucking murk them
it's
100 to 0.
It's just like basketball Olympics.
Yeah.
Like, we just go play these international people, and it's just like,
true.
You know, just like,
destroy them.
Don't have enough black people.
It's true. The Europeans are getting close, though, because their style of play is getting close.
Getting close to what?
To one day being able to be within 20 points of the U.S.
That you've been about to beat them.
No, I don't think so.
I can't think of a single European country that could beat the best 5 Americans. James Harden, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and
me.
And you, it doesn't matter. Nicole, at that point, like, we're good. Those 4 people will beat anybody on earth.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Take Jordan out of retirement.
The Europeans, they would have to make like a Europe team of like all of the countries, and even then they'd still lose easily.
Easily.
I think the only team that ever beat like a fully stacked U.S. was Manu Ginobili's Argentina. And it was like Carmelo, LeBron, or maybe that was the team that made them go put NBA players back into the Olympics.
Yeah, they beat college kids.
Yeah.
They've never lost a game since they put pros in.
Yeah, because I think Carmelo was part of that first team that came on, and LeBron was.
The one that, like, when they brought the Dream Team back, they were like, stop this bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think they had a rule where you weren't allowed to play for some time, right? Like the NBA players.
Or it was either that, or the selection committee only chose college kids. Like, however they wanted to say it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, however they wanted to phrase it, like, they just chose college kids.
Which I still think we didn't lose. Like, we lost in the semis, so it's not even like we lost completely. We're still better than most of the world
with college kids, but still, our pros are just... But, guys, the NFL, at least in the offseason now, these guys can smoke weed to heal their bodies, so that is a blessing.
And a quick note also about the NFL legalizing marijuana. It said that they specifically test for Delta-9 THC. I'm just saying, Delta-8 exists.
Delta-8 exists. Delta-10's coming up, too.
Yeah. I don't know how specific they get on these tests. I don't know if you can get that specific, but in the article it said... The NFL tests for, I mean, it has to be because they said like 32 nanograms of Delta-9 THC.
I wonder if that's a super small amount.
They said it used to be like a crazy small amount, and they increased it with the CBA too.
Yeah, it used to be zero tolerance.
Yeah. They had, in the article I was reading, they had like a breakdown of exactly what it was, but I don't know what a nanogram is.
I've never heard of a nanogram.
Yeah. I just know that John Bones Jones got caught with a picogram of steroids, and I don't know what a picogram is either.
A picogram?
No idea. It's just, it must be a very, 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 very small amount.
He said he still didn't cheat. I just don't understand how that story goes.
I don't know if he cheated, to be honest.
I don't know if he cheated.
Because he got, what they said is the reason he got caught with such a small amount is because steroids have like a reemergence in your system, and it flares out in your muscles. But
okay.
But it seems like bullshit, to be honest.
You think he did it?
No, I would say he was maybe participating in things that may have been sketchy, but I would be surprised if he knowingly took steroids.
Dude, I would be so surprised with all the things that had gone into his career before even because at that point he was 2-3 DUIs in, another steroid allegation. Like, he had been through shit already.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine if John Jones was injecting steroids at that camp.
Yeah.
Even when he failed the test, like, he was like, I swear he was like, you could tell it was like true confusion. It wasn't even on the like Lance Armstrong attack people type shit.
Yeah, and the amount they caught him with, like another famous fighter who got caught definitely doing steroids was TJ Dillashaw. And he was like, his shit tested through the roof. He was like, yeah, I did it and all this shit. Like John Bones Jones, it was like, they had to create a whole new level of science. Man.
Yeah.
It's a picogram to catch him. Like
he was like, what?
Are most UFC fighters, they're kind of like, I would say, lab test, or not even like lab test dummies in a way. Like, I'm sure there's that guy in every gym that's like, hey, bro, I got this new fucking supplement.
Exactly.
Give it a try. It's clean. It's this, it's that.
I tested it for everything. And then the list has been updated one, or he's lying to you too. But so John Jones said, they said his whole camp was watching everything he did all the time.
No, I'd be very surprised. And if you're going to do steroids, it's for like a very specific benefit. And there is like TJ Dillashaw, you notice like some fights you're like, holy fuck, he's ripped as hell. And then other fights he's not. And another one that they're saying
John
is
Jones lost power in my opinion.
Yeah, he got thinner during the time too. It's not like, I mean, there was pictures of him around that he was like deadlifting like 1,000 pounds or some ridiculous shit.
His brother's in the NFL and he's a freak.
He's a super athlete.
Yeah.
But with now the new thing is everybody's accusing Usman of being on EPO, which is like a red blood cell accelerant that makes your muscles grow faster.
Oh, that's what
TJ Dillashaw. He got caught with it.
Like,
oh, was
started that.
Yeah.
That's blood doping.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
so they're accusing
Armstrong started that shit.
That's like the new wave, but that's just Colby Covington being an idiot and trying to market himself.
You can't get caught.
Yeah, it's very difficult, especially in the UFC.
People have to snitch on you. Like you have to have somebody come and out you. Like Lance Armstrong got outed by like people that hated him.
Yeah, everybody was telling on Dillashaw too. Like, and for years until then he was finally caught. Everyone's like, well, we've been fucking really Cody Garbrandt, his like number one rival, was the only guy really pushing that he told his whole gym how to cheat, how to do it. Because there's always ways around it. Even in the UFC, I'm sure to this day, I don't know, I wouldn't ever say Usman is doing it.
But somebody's in there finding ways around it.
Yeah, somebody's in the room doing it.
Because one knockout can change your life.
Yeah. And Usman has always been genetically freakish.
Yeah.
Like he's always been jacked. It's never like he was a bitch when he came in. And
though.
Yeah, he does look a little extra swole.
I saw a picture. They even said before and after it was with him and Ngannou when they're in the gym together. Ngannou looks the exact same.
Yeah.
And bro, he is jacked now.
Yeah, I mean it's possible.
It's possible because
it's possible.
I've seen guys get jacked like that naturally. Yeah. I'm not saying that he didn't do it.
Usually
naturally.
not at the end of your 30s though.
No, that is. He's at the end of his 30s?
I think he's like 34, I want to say.
Oh, no, that's prime athlete.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
That's prime athlete.
Yeah.
Because I see, like, LeBron's getting more cut at 34.
I mean, I don't think he's doing it, but I also wouldn't be surprised. The risk to reward is so
It's
skewed.
crazy, yeah.
Like, him winning that Masvidal fight in the way he did.
Big enough.
Made
the rest
him,
of his life.
Yeah, exactly. He's made enough money to support generations of families now.
Because I always wonder that, like, Lance Armstrong, his legacy, shit, he's probably still multi-millionaire.
Oh, yeah, he's still very rich.
I would say he's got at least 20.
And depending
25.
on how much he was scheming on that Live Strong, because, you know, the whole charity scam you could run, he might have racked out. Because everybody had those bitches. They used to be hard to find, and it was for charity.
They were impossible to find.
Yeah,
bro.
like no other charity can you not find the merch.
He had like the perfect story, bro. Like,
one ball,
bro. Had fucking cancer and shit.
Yeah,
like,
really did.
I hope that he didn't scam off of that, because if he didn't, that's one of those stories that's like the good that Lance Armstrong did for the community way outweighs.
Yeah.
If he didn't scam.
And I'm sure if he did, there was people searching through all that shit, waiting for him to fuck it out.
Private investigators just searching through that shit.
And I don't think he was in charge of it. He was kind of like the face of it.
And I don't think he's rich enough, because with how much that made, he should be richer if he was really scamming.
Let's see what's the net worth of Lance Armstrong looking like nowadays.
Gotta be pretty nice, bro.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think he got hurt that much in the pocket. Like his money in the future for sure, but did he get like fined and shit? I don't know. 125 million at the peak, and now he's worth 50. So he took a $75 million hit. Still rich as fuck.
He didn't take no hit, bro. They have
it's because he said he was an early investor in Uber, but he said all of his endorsements, which led up to that 125, they all pulled out. So
of course,
but he invested in Uber.
Smart. But like that's the thing,
saying
though.
Uber saved him.
He got to the point to where he could invest in Uber, and he invested in it, but he had the wealth to do it at the time.
Yeah,
like it changed his life.
Because of the roids.
Bro, because of the roids.
Yeah.
Without the roids, his children might be hungry.
Exactly.
With
the risk to reward.
His generations are fed.
And there's almost no way in any sport to skew it. For example, even baseball. Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds. I don't think Barry Bonds was ever caught, but Mark McGwire for sure.
God.
Well, he definitely did it, right?
Bro, those before and afters of Barry Bonds.
He definitely did it.
Because the thing is, the telltale sign is when somebody's head grows.
Yeah, massively. Yeah, for sure.
What the fuck, bro?
Yeah,
but all those track guys, Carl Lewis, they used to get braces because their jaws would expand.
Without the steroids, Mark McGwire isn't the name that we'd be saying in this conversation. Barry Bonds maybe, because he was still good.
So was Mark.
And then even Sammy Sosa was also very good, but it took them into that. It went from making 10 million to 100 million.
100%.
And that's worth it.
Dude, he might have changed half of the Dominican Republic with that fucking.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Robinson Cano, if he had used it, like, I'm not saying Robinson Cano used steroids, but I'm saying in those instances, when you're trying to get out of destitute situations. Bro, if I'm from the Dominican Republic,
you have to do it.
I'm cheating my ass off.
And that's what they did. I mean, Sammy Sosa got caught with all of the cheating. He got caught with steroids. He got caught. Actually, was he actually caught? I think he admitted it, but
he for sure got caught.
Okay, so and then he got caught with the corked bat too.
Yeah, he got caught.
He got caught with all the cheating. So he was all
with
in.
Steroids. He was busting them.
Yeah, he was all in.
And the way that those guys look, like their forearms don't look like human.
Yeah,
like they're like tree trunks on their arms. Bro.
I knew high school players who are currently in the league who in high school were taking small amounts of roids.
It just gets you ahead a little bit, and you don't get tested in high school.
Yeah, no, they weren't getting tested at all. The reason the forearms reminded me is because they were in my weightlifting class.
Yeah,
and they'd be over the bench, just pure forearms only. That's
all they're
working out
too. But I wasn't on no roids.
Yeah, during the class, their forearms would be fucking ridiculously jacked.
Because in baseball, it's simpler than people really give it credit for to go to like college. You throw 95, you go to college.
Yeah,
so it's that simple. So if you can get your arm mechanics and your strength and your base strong enough to really follow through and just get a college scholarship. Yeah. A college scholarship like changes some people's lives.
A lot of people. And baseball, going to college for a lot of people.
We're not encouraging cheating, guys, but we're saying
it's worth
that the cost to benefit ratio is off in society for real.
Yeah, and what was I going to say? The benefit. What was I going to say? Can't remember. Completely blanked.
Because I know the drug that really everybody's taking that will break a lot of these rules is Adderall.
Oh yeah,
I think like everybody in the NFL, from what I've heard, is taking Adderall. I had a friend
another
that
drug I've heard
baseball,
a lot of NFL players take is Viagra.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
boost their testosterone.
No, I heard it. Yeah, I think it boosts a little bit of testosterone, but it increases blood flow, so you don't cramp.
Oh shit!
So like you get less cramps on Viagra, which is a weird thing.
But I feel like it increases blood flow, so it helps you get hard, but it doesn't necessarily just help you get hard. Like you're not just gonna be on the field hard.
No, I don't think so.
It just helps you in your extremities, your feet. Yeah,
that's why I heard it helps a lot with cramping and thought processing as well.
It's not illegal though, is it?
I think it is.
It's a prescription drug.
Yeah, I think once you're prescribed, it's no longer illegal. Yeah. But if you were like just popping Viagra's without a prescription, which is the easiest thing to get a prescription for. Hey, doc, the dick don't work. All right, well, here you go.
Dude, what's the punter that has the podcast? McAfee?
Yeah, Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee, he talked about it. He was like, man, everybody in the locker room. He said the punter that beat him for his job just came in wide off Adderall, every day, just.
Yeah, but
he's like, he tried it one time. He's like, oh, this is why I can't compete with everybody.
Especially if they're going to ban everything else.
No, it's banned. You can't do that.
Oh, you can't? Even if it's prescribed?
If you have a prescription, you can, but...
That's one of those things.
A lot of those guys don't be having it, though. Yeah, I had a friend that played college baseball who said everybody on the field was on Adderall.
I believe it.
One kid had a prescription.
I actually just remembered what I was going to say about baseball. It was... college is almost, for baseball players who are at the most elite levels, college is seen as like a failure because you could get drafted right out of college and go AAA, quadruple A. Oh, yeah, at high school.
Yeah.
Because all the kids I knew that were on roids in high school got drafted immediately. They didn't even go to college.
I feel like the system's starting to look, though, that college is better.
It could be.
Because D1 college is like AA.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go play in single A after high school, you need to go to college. But if you're going to go, because so few people, like only like the Ken Griffeys of the world go straight to AAA. Like going straight to AAA is like crazy in baseball.
Yeah, I don't know what the guy, I know one of them was top 10, so whatever top 10 usually goes to.
Exactly.
And then another one's like a third round pick. Now he's in the league, but I don't know where he started or what his career looked like. I just remember he was a roid boy.
And some people can't do school.
Yeah.
Like some people really just like, they're not going to do school well. So like.
And you get paid for AAA and shit, right?
Yeah.
Is it based on like.
It's a tough life.
Yeah, it's probably like a traveling circus of low-paid baseball in random small cities in the middle of nowhere.
You bus there. You don't fly. Dude, it's AAA. And AAA is like glorious compared to like them rookie through AA, bro.
I just know the only reason I know
college,
that
you live well.
is because the MLB draft really isn't like a thing. That like is the NFL draft and like all these things and the NBA draft.
200 rounds or something.
Yeah, the MLB do they even put it on TV?
Yeah, it's like a couple hundred rounds, bro. It lasts so long because every team has to fill out 4 teams.
Oh, true. Yeah, because
they all have rookie, single, double, triple, and then the majors team.
Seems like baseball would be the perfect sport to smoke weed during, unless you're a pitcher. or maybe hitting would be affected. But if you're
your hitting would be affected.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, baseball actually might be the worst sport to smoke weed during.
I was just thinking of somebody like
slow twitch,
center field.
your fast twitch shit.
Sparking up a J, because they be having tobacco in their lip, or used to. I think they banned that.
That keeps you buzzed.
Yeah.
The thing is, bro, about baseball, you played baseball growing up?
Until I was like 11.
Okay, because...
Until it got too hard.
I think weed would really hurt baseball because that first step matters so much. Like, even playing center field, like, the difference between ball off the bat, you taking a step forward, you taking a step back, like, you've already lost the ball.
I think I sucked at hitting when the ball was at 70, and I was sober, so maybe weed would help me. But I just didn't like the ball coming at me that fast and not having control of whether the person was going to hit me or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you couldn't have played baseball high, bro. No way.
I remember there was a kid on my team that used to literally sprint out of the batter's box on every pitch. He was so scared.
For real?
Yeah. Like, he would stand there. I was like, parents, you got to do better. Don't put him in baseball. The kid is terrified. You know, I didn't like it, but I was still good.
I stopped at like 14, I think.
Yeah, I think it was like third year of kid pitch. So I don't know what age, maybe like 12, 13.
Yeah.
Around that age. I just remember also, it was such a long game. I didn't like standing there. I was always the center fielder.
You don't like doing anything that takes a long time.
Yeah. And I would one time I remember I was playing center field. The inning was long as fuck. I had to piss. So I went and pissed in center field, like over the fence and shit. They made this huge deal out of it. And they were saying.
Of course they did. You pissed on the fence.
No, I went over the fence. Like
jump?
No, like you put your dick through the fence.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was like.
Yeah.
You pissed on the fence, like essentially to them.
Yeah. So they tried to suspend me for a game and shit. I was like, what else was I supposed to do? Just piss on myself? What?
So mid pitch, you just pissing?
No, it was I was playing center field and it was like this long ass inning, and just mid pitch running back, running back to the field.
Of course, they made a big deal out of it.
I'm a kid that needed a piss. I had to do what I had to do. That's when I was like, nah, fuck this sport. I'm gonna piss when I want to piss.
That's when because in soccer, if the ball had been on the other side of the field, you just go piss in your goal and just go on the other side of the field.
Soccer, you're so active that I don't think I was ever in a scenario that I was like, holy shit, I need to piss. Because when I'm walking or running, like, I don't need to piss. But baseball requires so much standing, so much sitting.
I feel you.
So much time. I was like, fuck it. So I stopped.
I understand.
Hell yeah. Shit, NFL added to the list of places that are loosening the restrictions on weed. It seems like any day now, every major sport is going to say yes to the ganj.